Here comes the money. Here comes the money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
It's another exciting episode of Death Piles and Taxes. I'm D-Roy Everett. Adam Pump Beasley is across from me, and man, we're excited about all things eBay. Adam, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, eBay, and we are getting to that tax deadline. It's been extended, getting close to that July 15th.
I know, I keep putting out that same commercial, and I think this has gone too late in the season. This feels weird, but it's that time of the year. It's that time of the year. Are you seeing an uptake in people that put off paying their taxes trying to get back in the office?
We are putting an uptick, and I am going to share something that I learned this year that I have never done before, tax related.
Is it going to cost you years in prison?
No, it's absolutely not.
Is it a tip for everyone?
It is a tip for everyone.
Well, let's have it.
So I have the same routine with everyone. I do the same thing. I provide their documentation. I take payment in the same form. I give them, a folder. I tell them where to send their tax payments. Same thing for doing online. But I was doing some little research, saw something else. You can pay your taxes, which again I can't believe, with a credit card.
So you can get you some airline points from paying your taxes.
Exactly the true statement.
Now, what would be the advantage to doing it this way? Besides, you get some points.
Again, I don't know why they let this happen again. It's kind of that same concept of, people like prepaying life insurance and then going, stop paying their credit cards. And, now it's the same thing with their taxes. I don't know how these places are agreeing to take it on a credit card, but I paid a pretty good chunk of taxes this year and put it on the credit card and paid it right off, the next day. But I ran it through because I wanted to see it. Cost me like $180. I mean, it was a pretty good chunk. It was $10,000, and then I paid like $180 fees, but then I got like a gajillion Sky Miles.
Hey, that's gonna get you closer to Disneyland.
We've got.
So is this you're paying the government or you're?
Yes.
Okay. So
IRS.gov.
it's taking credit card.
Yes, IRS.
That's a smart move on their end because
Yeah.
People that might not have the cash or the checks maybe they're dealing with some bounced checks too.
Maybe they are.
They know the credit card is always welcome.
Yeah, so maybe that's how people are setting up payment plans, but it is an option. State of Utah, I went on there and I was able to do an automatic ACH transfer. So, little tip, you can pay your taxes with a credit card.
Now, can I get them to send any refunds on my credit card bill and take that statement back down?
I don't know, and
It's a two-way street.
I'm always hesitant to give the IRS your credit card information, and same thing with your banking information.
Yep.
So,
yeah, at least with a credit card, if you catch it, you can dispute. Banking, once it's gone, it's usually just gone.
yeah, it's out of there. So there you go. There's our hot tip.
That's kind of interesting, and that's something that I don't think we've ever really talked about. But I have not only because I am told we have separate banking information stuff, I have a credit card that is just for online for the resale game. I try to make every transaction on eBay on it. I do all my shipping from it. If I'm outsourcing, that's the card I use. If I'm buying stuff from a place that accepts credit cards, obviously. Sometimes though, I've been surprised the last couple of years when you go to yard sales and stuff, people are taking Venmo,
yeah.
or they have like Square, whatever, where you can pay with a credit card, which that way you always have the financial transactions logged. So at the end of the year when you need to know what you've spent, you have one place where it's not cross-contaminated with other purchases. I can show Adam, hey, this is where I'm getting these numbers from. But also, there's a lot of different reward cards out there, and right now maybe airlines aren't the most popular thing with your Sky Miles. And I know there's a lot of confusion and a lot of people nervous about whether or not some airlines might make it through everything. Obviously, the travel's on a downtake since the corona, but there's cashback cards, there's points cards, there's I remember PayPal has some sort of they give you cash back on your PayPal account card. There's there's a card for whatever you're interested in. So if you're going to do this full time or part time or make a hobby of it, you probably need a card anyway. So find one that gives you something that you are interested in.
Yeah, track your stuff. I mean, it's always interesting to say, but I'll tell you what, there is something. This show is so organic. Things just pop up. You know, we've always got something in mind. You know, I'm constantly looking. Do you remember KB Toys?
Not only do I remember KB Toys, but I remember it fondly.
I mean, I'm just looking at some things online. This guy got cards from all over. Toys R Us, I mean, that was the greatest place as a child. I mean, like this is, my kids were able to see it. You know, they just recently closed in the last couple of years. But KB Toys, that was like the place to go. That was where my grandpa would take me to get some cards too. So
yeah, it was around here. I don't know if it was everywhere. That was mainly in the mall. Toys R Us was more of a big box type store, but yeah, just these big old toy stores of the past. Why are you bringing that up?
Kmart. I don't know. This guy on Facebook Marketplace is selling cards, and they're all, you know, they've gotten the information right on.
Oh, so they just came from the KB Toy.
Yeah.
A lot of places, had their own branding. So
Woolworth.
I never went to Woolworth.
I know, because that's even older. So I don't know. That's there you go. You just never know what death pile people have.
Well, there's different regions and different places, right? So I mean, back east they have different places than we have out here, and sometimes there's exclusives to teams, and or you know, Walmart will get the exclusive Furby of this color, and Target has it of that color, and Woolworth has the one, and people don't have that, so it makes it worth more value. So just always be looking at what's available, and when you pay for things, I mean, cash always talks. We have a kind of a double standard there. I always say bring cash money and be prepared to go, but on the other hand, we're like, and also document it with your credit card and get you some Sky Miles.
Well, the same thing. I mean, like I said, if you're going to pull cash out, you know, earmark it for what it is. But I've got a question for you. You're always learning. At what point do you say, I am going to pay to learn something?
That's a tough question, especially with,
Life in general.
That kind of gets to back to school and things. I think there's enough information out there if you want to do the digging yourself. How fast do you want to know the answer, I guess, because if you're going to take the time, you can get on YouTube. There's enough free resources on the internet that you can basically teach or figure out about anything on your own. But there is some things where people have already done it for you and the path has been blazed. So I'm more of a do-it-yourself guy, or I guess it depends what the thing is. What's your payoff? What's your return on that investment?
That's a good question. You know, same thing. I read an interesting thing this week. This guy's saying within the next 10 to 15 years, 50% of higher educational learning places will be gone.
I believe it. They're pricing themselves out. The pay that you get after you do that, the debt that people are in, it's just not worth it for a lot of people.
And the reason this comes up, like I said, I always see interesting things as an accountant. Oh man, I saw a gentleman who had an extremely large amount of canceled debt. Like I said, I see this every year, see it all the time. But we're talking in almost the $200,000 range of canceled student loan debt, and they still had more at other places. So
That guy better be Mr. Lawyer Doctor Man.
no, it was not. But you got to get the bang for your buck. And like I said, and that's what we see a lot in these groups is, hey, should I buy this? Should I do this thing? You know, a lot of people are now getting into the buying pallets of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I went to the mall. I know, crazy thing. I went to the actual mall.
Looking for a KB toy?
We went and got some shoes. This was right after the Rona happened. I mean, my kids wore literally holes through their shoes. We all needed some, so we went there. Because that's like one of those things, it's hard to buy shoes online.
It can be. I mean, because you got to figure the return and everything. It's doable. There's places to do it, but it's also nice. Especially, I understand where you have kids that are growing different shoe sizes to go let them try them on and see how they fit.
Yeah, so we kind of did that, and just again looking, learning. I totally lost my train of thought. I know why you don't look at the text while we're on the show.
I'm a professional, and mine is on airplane mode. I'll get whatever after the show. I got my notes here, which you claim I don't have, and I keep on topic.
A briefcase just sent me a text of a kid wearing He's in the Husky section wearing an Alf shirt.
There you go. And if you have that Alf shirt, you can probably sell it on eBay for a good sum of money. You're talking about paying for services, and you ended up at the mall with your kids buying shoes.
Doing that.
I'm wanting to see where this payoff is, so that's why I'm keeping you on this one.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Just learning, understanding what happened in the past. Like it says, you have to learn to adapt as a business owner. Because the place is, it was literally, a third full maybe. Places are going out of business. And unless you learn to educate yourself to get better, somebody is going to take the time to overcome what you do. A lot of these services now, you're becoming specialized. I took the opportunity, like I said, in these marketplaces, say, well, should I buy this? Should I not buy this? And I always tell people, get an education, buy it. Most of them are like $100 or, like I said, these pallets, that's where I was going. They're buying these pallets. There's a pallet store, a liquidation in the mall.
Oh, really?
Yes, there was a place in the mall that these people buy pallets, they bring everything out, which makes sense because rent there is extremely cheap. But take the time to learn, like I said, spend some money to learn, because then you will never do it the same way after you paid the money to learn.
Well, and are you interested in that? Are you interested in selling pallets, or are you just interested in making money?
Yeah.
Because if you're just interested in getting the money, you don't care about the pallets, then paying the money to learn how to do all that, you're not going to want to do it anyway, so it's a waste of your time.
But maybe it's a way to make money.
But if you're interested in making the money, outsourcing the pallet sounds interesting to you, and you need to know how to find pallets, how to find reputable companies. You don't want to do all the hard digging or finding it online. Take this, it's like a shortcut. Like, here's how it's done. The problem with some of that is if everyone starts doing that, then the resource doesn't, the material, everyone knows it. So you gotta find some things. It's kind of like, it's like anything, right? Like if I'm interested in something, I can pay somebody to tell me how to do it, but then there's 20 people paying the same person. You got competition that way. Or I can just figure it out on my own and hopefully avoid that competition, because like me and Painter with the wrestling cards, if there was a course and everybody saw that course, I see a lot of people online, how to flip cards, how to sell cards.
Yeah.
There might be a little bit of a shortcut there, but when you got 20 people after the same card, price, demand, inflation, bubble.
Yeah.
When you get me and Painter looking for a Hulk Hogan 1982 Series A rookie card, not as many people after it. So that's kind of the approach I take of, does it interest me? But then there's things that interest me that I'm like, I would pay to know how to find, like wholesale sports memorabilia, for example, instead of trying to go and find the back roads and back channels of finding things. If there's somebody that said, hey, here's how you do it, I'll tell you all the contacts, here's how, that'd be money well spent for me. So it just kind of depends on the situation you're in. If you're just doing this to try to make money and you're not interested in it at all, you're going to lose interest fast and lose money.
Sure, and that's where I'm going. Is I spent a good chunk of change on an educational course for myself. I'm trying to find the right clients. Again, I've been weeding out people. Just like you're saying, you want a good fit. Long gone are the days of the accountants that sit in the back corner with the pocket protector. There, as the world changes, there are a lot of people getting into the gig economy, driving for themselves, now picking up groceries for other people.
There's endless opportunities. Yeah.
You've got to find somebody who understands that and who's willing to work with you, especially this whole economic stimulus, this PPP, all these different things. And I'm really, I took the time, I spent some money, I'm watching educational courses daily on learning how to find my niche, how to find the people that I want to work with, because again, like you said, the World Wide Web has changed. I don't need, obviously I like it, but I don't have to, rely on my business to only be within a 15-mile radius. Now I'm able to find clients who fit my niche, guys in the trades and plumbing industry, heating and air, electrical, that's kind of where we do, trucking, online retailers, that's kind of where I hit. But I'm able to now open up my reach, so I can work with people in North Dakota, Idaho, other places. And that's what I'm really trying to learn is find the good niche for it, because now most places need more than just a guy to do their taxes. Mm-hmm. They need advisement throughout the year. They need to say, hey man, I bought all this stuff, am I supposed to pay sales tax? Or, hey man, we're bringing on some new employees, and we just had this one, but now the Office of Recovery Services is garnishing their wages for child support. And those are all things that are that's a true thing.
Yeah.
Those are all things that are now happening that, as business owners, again, it's your time. We charge them a flat monthly fee to really help them out, to save them time and money. So again, it's their educational purposes for us to help them.
I mean, I think the thing is too, if you're paying for a service, make sure you're using that service. I think a lot of people will buy a subscription or a service of some nature. I know we're still in the Cellhound thing of subscription. If you are buying it, use it. A lot of people just buy it, forget about it, or move on, and utilize it.
And then that's a great thing, and that's where pricing comes in, and that's exactly what, as I'm learning, is if you're paying, $150 a month for something and you're bringing $100,000, it doesn't really matter. But if you're now paying, $1,500 for something, you're going to take the time and effort to say, hey, I need to make sure I'm doing what I'm doing, get the value of it.
Get the value, and it doesn't make sense. So like we're talking about, yes, I can list my own clothing on eBay. Yes, I know how to do that. But if I pay Cellhound $1 to do that for me, how much more can I do? How much more can I make? Same with you. You can go find clients in this area. You can go door to door. You can find people. But then when you get to where it's like, okay, this doesn't make sense. We don't get along. They want this. They want that. If there's a way to find the clients that you already want and weed out the bad ones faster, that makes the end of the day more. You make more money and they have a better experience. So it works a win-win, as the kids are saying nowadays, right?
So that's kind of the concept, is educate yourself, and then regardless of if it's a cooking class, if it's, which I'm getting into. My daughter, she wants to do some art things. Like I said, she's been learning a lot online, really doing it. We're going to enroll her in a couple art things because educate yourself on something that you want to do.
Yeah, that's a good thing with kids, with this growing up too, with their interests. I can only imagine the opportunities that are there that might not have been there for even our generation growing up. But find what they're interested in and let them, develop. And if it turns out to be something they want to go forward with, good. If not, they got, some more skills in that backpack of life. And who knows when those resources will be, important to them in the future. I can only imagine with the society and the economy and the way everything's going, the online presence now. In the future, that's only going to continue to develop. So
hard work.
It's going to pay off. Well, even hard work if they enjoy it. Like if you have an artistic side, I mean, we're seeing cards right now that are made by artists that are going for crazy money, and on the other side, you get murals, you get opportunities to do. I mean, there's just a lot of work for people to have certain skills. And it used to be you needed a trade, you needed to go to college for 4 years, you needed to have all these boxes checked, and then you could get an entry-level position and maybe work your way up. Now you can kind of bypass that if you have the right skills and the right talent, and you go straight to the, hey, I'm making money doing this.
I better hit something. So I'm going to kind of shift gears here. I mean, it's all on the same thing, but have you taken the time to watch the show Strange Inheritance, like I told you?
Oh, I thought Stranger Things.
No, I can't.
I told you I've got that channel, man. I guess I could YouTube it.
You need to get it. There was a...
Did you? You sound like Jeff Foxworthy. Did you?
Did you? Maybe you're bringing out my true colors. I tell you, I love this show because it's a DeathPiles and taxes show. It's exactly what it is. People have inherited some strange item from their loved ones. The coolest one I've ever seen came on the other night.
If you watch TV to see what you could inherit from your family, you might be a rich person.
Yes. So this was the craziest one ever. I can't remember the name of it. It was it was Museum Man or something. George Clooney was in it. It was about when the Nazis stole art.
The art, yeah.
It was about that. It was a movie. And that is a literal, real-life thing that happened. This Strange Inheritance story was that.
I should be on Strange Inheritance for my freaking Jerry Salone stuff.
Well, let's hit it up.
I think I need to do that.
Well, you're welcome. I got to tell the story, though. It's fascinating to me. The older I get, the more I get into actual history. Like I said, I watch some, but I really don't enjoy it.
I don't enjoy watching but the television colored made up shows. I enjoy.
I don't like the made up shows. I like the actual real history documentaries. That's really, I guess I'm trying to learn from other people's lives. But this guy, his dad, literally they were extremely wealthy. Like, they lived in Denmark, they were extremely wealthy, they had art beyond art. I mean, we're talking just classic art.
The art galleries had art galleries.
That's right, just beyond amazing art galleries. And the guys that were on the show, there were two brothers, and their father had passed away. And when their father passed away, a couple years after, they got a box of just information. The guy who died, his parents were killed in the Nazis. They were put to concentration camp. They were killed in the concentration camp in front of their son when he was a young age, and all of their art was stolen by the Nazis. And all of this art was put into,
Does Indiana Jones come into play anywhere in this?
no, it doesn't. But they talked about the movie, and basically this woman was the woman who cataloged all the art. They took extreme, meticulous record keeping. And then, as these two young, the brothers, I mean, they're probably in their 70s now, they got this box and they were able to find the actual records of the art that their father had, because the Nazis took record of it, saying that
Here's what we stole.
they stole it, and now they're able to find these art pieces that are now at auctions today.
Okay.
So they were able to go to these art dealers or these people saying, whoa, 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 that's our art. That was stolen from the Nazi regime, and this is how we have the chain of custody showing it. And there was one of the first lawsuits that basically unleashed the Pandora's box of families who were taken advantage, who were stolen from their life savings from the Nazi regime, and they were able to get a large settlement from this art.
Good for them.
And their father and their grandfather's name were now put on this art, and it wasn't one, and that was their continual quest, is they had this large database. I mean, because we're talking probably 10,000 different pieces that were stolen, but they were able to go through and find the information and get it attached, and that was their strange inheritance, was stolen Nazi art that was taken from their family wrongfully. And it just really made me think.
Oh, that's the thing, and I know we talk a lot about sports and that kind of thing. That's kind of more our expertise, but art is an excellent place. You go to thrift stores, there's always art around, and if you have an eye or know what you're looking at, I obviously don't, but people have been able to that's what they do. They buy art, they get with people. A lot of times artists have a different mind frame of, they're not necessarily looking to make the money, so if you can connect with the artist and say, hey, I handle this side, you handle that side. I'm not usually for somebody that goes and does that type of a business where you're kind of a consignment, because I think that gets messy. However, in these cases, that could be a great place to make a little extra money and help our artists out. But also, I remember, every now and again, there's articles that come out about, hey, this Rembrandt painting that they thought was lost forever was found at the Salvation Army or this thrift store here and there. A lot of times you're probably looking at reprints and stuff, but some of that stuff has value, or you see stuff that's just cool, right?
Yeah.
So if that's what you're into, don't be afraid to go out and try to sell this stuff or find this stuff.
Learn.
That's the thing. You need to know what you're looking for. Watch these shows. Learn what has value, what doesn't, if that interests you at all. Obviously, I think history, especially this year, we got tons and tons. Every day we got more stuff going on. I think if people would pay attention to history and what's been going on in the past, we could have avoided a lot of the messes that we were in. Just general statement, blanket statement for 2020. Pay attention to history. We've had racial tensions before. We've had epidemics before. We've had mass hysteria before. We've had looting and rioting before. We've had all this before, and we just kind of forget and move on. Pay attention to the past, and maybe in the future things will be better next time this stuff comes around, because unfortunately this stuff will happen again.
I guess moral of this story is, whatever's going on, would you do it to your grandma? Would you say it to your grandma?
Exactly. If you just would you do that too? And some people, unfortunately, would. There's always that.
They're going to hell anyway.
There's that small percentage is just bad out there, but I think 98, 99% of people are good and just try to do what's right. Yeah, just think, if this was your grandmother, how would you handle the situation?
Would you say or act that way in front of your grandmother?
on all accounts.
Yeah, man, I like that.
If Grandma had the Spanish flu, would you tell her it was just the flu?
It's true. If Grandma had, an issue with some sort of place, would you just tell her to pound sand?
Treat people like you treat your grandmother, the world will be better, Adam. I think we just came up with something there.
Yeah, I mean that takes away any kind of religious tones, non-belief. We all have a mother, we all have a grandmother.
And yeah, and if you're lucky to have both, you're doing pretty good right now.
Yeah, treat other people the way you treat your grandmother, and we'd all be in a better place.
Man, that's a cost to go to break.
Epiphany with a large.
Adam, our friends over at Cellhound have outdone themselves. They're giving the Death Piles and Taxes listeners an opportunity of a lifetime.
They're going to help us make some money, get rid of that death pile, get your items listed because you can't sell out of an empty wagon.
Man, sell all that you got, kill that death pile. When you go over to Cellhound, use promo code, capital letters, DeathPiles25 to save 25% off of their service.
And get out there and start making some money. There's a reason we call this the Death Piles and Taxes podcast.
Well, why do we call it that, Adam?
Because for the rest of your life, and even the year that you die, you have to file your taxes.
Well, I got a guy that does that for me.
That's right, because here at Adam Up Accounting, that's what we do. We take care of taxes. We're very familiar with online retailers. Even if you're listening because you enjoy the sultry sounds of Derek Everett, we will take care of your taxes. Check us out online, adamupaccounting.com. The social medias, we will help make sure that you file your taxes timely and enjoy the process.
Adam, if we've learned anything the last couple months, it's that we've been paying too much for things. People are looking to save money. That's where our friends over at Visible Mobile come in. People are paying crazy amounts for cell phone service, and they just realized how much money is going out that door. Go over and check out visiblemobile.com. Look at their plans, look at what they have to offer. If you like it, remember it was us at Death Piles and Taxes that sent you. You're going to want to use our promo code BVWVQ. They got specials all day long. Just go see what they have, and if it works for you.
Well, great. It's because I have a cell phone and I need to pay less money. Well, we're back for the second half of Death Piles and Taxes. What great commercials those were.
Hey, Adam, I got something to ask you.
Well, good. I've got time to answer.
Are you on Boogers?
Am I on Boogers?
You learn some interesting things when you are in the resale world, right?
I don't even know where you're going with this.
I didn't know either. So the other day, I'm selling my Sloan stuff, and some of my stuff are tickets, right? They're ticket stubs, or they're tickets that just didn't get used, or just sports tickets in general. Well, there's a whole subculture of people that collect just tickets.
Okay, just tickets.
Just tickets, whether or not it's to Led Zeppelin concerts, or whether or not it was to just Yankee games. People just collect just Michael Jordan games, just this team, just that team. So I put up some tickets. And it's on eBay, and I'm at my niece's birthday party, and me and my brother-in-law, we go to get some food at the Chick-fil-A that they've ordered that we're just going to pick up.
Okay.
And they think I'm crazy because I sell online anyways. They hear the podcast, they hear the stories. I'm kind of a goofy guy. I get this message comes across on eBay of this guy saying, hey, are you on Boogers? He's interested in this item, whatever. Are you on Boogers? And I read it because I don't know a lot of the slang, and I don't know I'm old, right? So I'm asking the younger generation in the car, I'm like, what does this mean? Is this like some slang for, am I on drugs? Is this guy saying I'm pricing things too high? What's this mean? And they're just like, I don't have any clue. And so I answer the guy's question and just send it back, and I don't talk about the Boogers part. And I think, well, maybe it's a typo, maybe something. So it comes back, hey, thanks for the info, man, but hey, are you on Boogers? And so I'm like, okay, dude, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not finding anything while I'm searching the internet on this.
If you were to go to Facebook and look up Boogers tickets, there's a group of people that have an online page or a community where they just deal in tickets and buying tickets, selling tickets, showing their ticket collection off. And it's I guess the shortened is just Boogers. It's got the full. I'll look it up since we're talking about it. Since I brought it up, I guess I can have the wherewithal and the professionalism to say the full name. And maybe there's people out there listening that like tickets and collect tickets. So the name of the group is, Adam just sent me a thing across there because I put my thing on there. Boogers Stubs. So like ticket stubs. I don't know why it's called Boogers. However, I am now on Boogers. So it was just one of those interesting things that I didn't know it existed, right? I didn't know it happened. I guess since they figured since I was selling things, a lot of this came from the Jerry Sloan stuff. They just figured that I'd know the slang and that I knew what was going on with the culture, the grouping, the people that sold tickets. If you're interested in buying tickets, Boogers Stubs. It's hard to say. Ticket stubs. I don't know why they used to call it ticket stubs. I guess, I don't know if Boogers is the nickname of the guy that started it. I haven't looked that far into it, but if ever anyone asks you if you're on Boogers, now you're a step ahead of me in the game. Also, going through all my Sloan stuff, I found a NBA Finals ticket to Game J.
I saw that, yeah.
Or was it J or G? No, it was J. Which I thought was pretty cool, and I was all pretty stoked about until I realized that Game K, so the game after it, was the Michael Jordan flu game. Adam, do you have any clue whatsoever how much a Michael Jordan flu game ticket goes for?
Well, I'll tell you what I did see, because this is what sparked my interest, because I remember you telling me you had the ticket. Someone has amassed this quite amazing, large framed picture art of some signed Jordan things, different, memorabilia. They had Game K. Is that the correct letter?
That's one. Yes.
That's the flu game.
No, J. Yeah, K is the flu game.
K is the flu game. They had this amassed in this photograph or picture frame. Guy had it up for $25,000. And then there were some other things in it. There were quite a few pieces of art memorabilia. So I'm guessing if you had that K stub, you'd be taking us to the buffet when it ever opens.
I'm telling you, I am a day late and a dollar short on a lot of things. I'm sure the J game is cool. It's one that the Jazz actually won, which there wasn't a whole lot of in those series. So that's cool, and I'll sell it, and probably a Michael Jordan collector that wants all the tickets. And I might make, off a used ticket stub, it's insane to think I might make a couple $100. I send it into PSA to get authenticated and graded. It's not in great condition, but it's still a ticket from the NBA Finals that Michael Jordan won. So there's going to be a big audience of people interested in that over on the Boogers. However, if it was the next game, yeah, we're talking, possibly tens of thousands of dollars.
That's crazy. Timing's everything. Timing is everything in life.
And don't you think that doesn't mean that I'm going through all the Jerry Sloan documents again, fine tooth comb, hoping to find something. So that's one thing that came positive of the fellow that wanted everything. I had to package it all up and go through a lot of things to make sure things were there. Now I'm doing the reverse engineering of going through it and trying to remember what's for sale and what's not. It's a process. It's a lot of stuff. One cool thing that I have that I don't know the value of, and I don't know who I'd sell it to, but it's definitely cool. I thought it was a tarp.
A tarp?
It looks like a tarp. So I started to unfold it because I thought, it's just one of Sloan's. Why it looks like a white tarp. On the other side is the old, the Jazz Mountain logo.
Yeah.
It's that and the NBA logo, and I thought, what in the world is this? Well, I got thinking about it. When they have a press conference up against a wall and they have that backdrop?
Okay.
It's one of those. It's a backdrop. So if you're ever watching press conferences or even the Emmys or whenever they're talking to people, celebrities, they usually have a backdrop behind them that says the event that they're at, and then it will have some pictures of sponsors or things like that.
Yeah.
Well, during basketball season, they'd have the NBA logo and the team logos, right? Multiple ones, kind of checker pattern almost.
Yeah.
So I got one of those that's like as a tarp.
So it's the backdrop to interviews.
Yeah, I'm guessing the end of the season came. I don't know if it was Jerry or Bobby that said, I'm going to go put this over some hay or something. I'm sure that was the intention.
Hold on a second. You just gave me a great idea.
I'm glad.
Great idea.
What you got?
I believe what we do. So you still have said talk.
Oh, yeah, the deal didn't go down, if you remember.
I think what we need to do, not think, I know what we need to do.
Let's hear it.
We need to bring the tarp here in the shop, here in the office. We need to bring your plethora of Jerry Sloan memorabilia, and we need to just go live. Go live, tell people the story, and we need to bust it out, the Western Union Telegram.
You've had some weird ideas before, but this one I actually work. It's about well, I'm trying to look. We're gonna have to put it on like a back wall or something. It's about a 10 by 10.
We could go out in the front office.
Yeah, I think if we put that out, that's not a bad idea. Get some attention on it, and maybe I'll sell some things.
Our own press conference. I can introduce you.
That would be kind of. We'll have a little podium maybe.
Yeah.
And I'll find me a John Deere hat.
Yeah.
This might have this has some potential. Maybe we'll do a Facebook Live,
Yeah.
a YouTube Live, something, and try to put this out. Put out the podcast a little bit, maybe a prepared statement.
Yeah.
I'm liking this idea, Adam.
We put it up on Twitter, we maybe go LinkedIn Live. I'm learning these
We'll
things.
put it up on the YouTube. My problem with the YouTube is I just don't have the time. I know there's a lot of things we can do better. We're trying to grow the audience. It's just trying to get the right resources in there. This could help.
Quit your full-time job and just do this.
I should, right? I mean, if it was paying, if I could make that 20 grand transaction every week, it would not be a question at all.
Well, you could if you worked harder.
That's true.
Like that's just
Life in general, right?
But that's the thing is you like your job.
That's my problem, is I kind of am comfortable. And I think that's everyone's kind of problem, is you get kind of comfortable, and, there's things like benefits and things like that, or paid time off that are nice to finally have. So to look at that gift horse in the mouth.
But I do have a question, because you have an extremely large learning opportunity set in front of you.
With large, it could have went multiple ways. I'm glad it was learning opportunity.
Learning opportunity. Do you know what I'm referring to?
Go ahead and share it with me and the listeners.
Apparently, like I said, you enjoy your job. Like I said, somebody in management has moved on to a different place, and apparently you have a new manager, and he has a plethora of Star Wars knowledge that you do not have.
Yeah, I have a new meet the new boss, same as the old boss, as the Who would say. He is Mr. Star Wars.
Dude, I mean, Star Wars is big. I know I'm not into it, but I know a lot of people. There's money in Star Wars.
Well, it's kind of like even this WNBA that you're getting into. You weren't into it a few months ago, but once you realize that's your niche that you can get into, my problem is there's people that already have that passion and desire that are utilizing that. So it's a tough nut to crack.
But you don't have to really get it. You just learn from the guy.
Oh, definitely. There's opportunity to learn, and maybe I'll find some things that I would have passed up without knowing that.
I mean, who knows? I mean, because you never know. Guy might have he might be a big jazz guy. He might have
he is not.
He might have a brother who's a big jazz guy.
He's not into sports ball, as he puts it.
He might have a brother or an acquaintance or somebody who is.
And that annoys him.
And throw him some of these, this Jerry Sloan stuff. Throw him a bone, and who might be good Christmas.
He would know Jerry Sloan from Grandma Lee, man. I'm telling you, he does not have one as much Star Wars bones as I got in my body is his sports bones.
So what you're saying is, I believe he would refer to as Luke Skywalker is to I don't know.
Karl Malone.
Karl Malone as to.
As Boba Fett is to Andre Karolinko.
He bent his Wookiee.
Adam needs to put that Wookiee away. I don't know, man. It's one of those things where, I mean, there's certain people that are into everything. There's certain people that are just into their thing. I don't deny that Star Wars has, they made a Star Wars world in Disneyland and Disney World. It's obviously got a great following and makes a lot of money for a lot of people. I'm not going to be so stupid as to say there's no market there. However, it's just never been my thing. Not that I don't like movies and science fiction and different things, but talking about that, Adam's really cranked down on his WNBA and soccer cards. So what's your tell the people what your theory is behind this, and kind of, we were getting into it a little bit in the break. I like where it was going. What has brought you to this, and why are you going this way?
Well, again, I think what happened, it was probably almost a month and a half ago. I don't know if it was pre-Rona, current Rona. A friend of the show, Brian, came in. We haven't even aired the episode yet.
No, that's been a few months back, yeah.
I mean, Brian came in and he shared some knowledge, and he said something that has resonated with me. He says, I don't really like going to the thrift stores.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and it's not like I don't like it. I do. I enjoy the thrill of the hunt, and I do the things, but I got a death pile of shirts in there, man, that I just really don't care about. I just don't. I mean, I got into different concert, shirts and things that I know I could flip and make, $15-20, which is, that's good money, especially when you throw it in. But he said that, and I'm like, man, what do I really like? And we always talk about this. We joked about this for years and years. Is I watched a lot of sports, learned a lot about it, but to this point in life, didn't do much for me. I was able never to capitalize on it. Other guys played with computers, and now they're like gajillionaires because they know how to code. I don't even know what that means. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to get into this. And we've really, kind of hit it hard over the last couple months. Really been educating myself. And, my daughter, she's always looking for different things, different avenues, and I'm 100% for empowering women, so they can do amazing things. And honestly, if you want to put it in the big scheme of things, they're better than us because they can reproduce. I mean, they can make a child.
You're not going to get any arguments from this side of the table.
You know what I mean? There's just some things. I mean, obviously we're different in so many ways, but there's some sports avenues. And soccer came up, and the women's soccer team is so much better than the men's. I mean, there's reasons why, but we got into talking about WNBA.
I don't even want to know what the reason. I was going to ask you the reasons why. Just keep rolling.
There's reasons why. But we got into, we went to the card shop, and my daughter sees all these basketball things. And I'm like, hey, you know what? Girls play basketball. Girls play soccer. And like I said, let's kind of learn a little bit. So we bought some WAs, and like I said, they're really cool cards and learning about different people and opportunities. And, first thing I'm doing, like, ooh, let's see what this goes for on eBay.
Yeah, yeah.
And I saw one, and I'm like, you're not going to believe this, girl. This is $100 card. This sold for $100. And she's all excited. Michelle, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, then we started looking at it, and I brought up the PSA, like I said, looking at these population reports. I'm like, no one's sending stuff in to get graded. Like, no one is. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna double down on this. So we went and bought another box, and I'm trying to teach her and also my son that, hey, yeah, you can do some things, you can mow lawns, you can do all this, but if you can do something you enjoy and make money at it, learn about it. And that's kind of what I'm pushing, for that. My son really enjoys soccer, and I'm like, there's nobody in the soccer game. There's just not.
Not locally.
Not locally, and I mean, even on the big scale of things, and soccer is the most popular sport in the world, and I already figured out this global shipping program thanks to McDonald's rug to Japan.
Yeah, you've got that part down, and shipping a card is a lot easier than shipping a rug to Japan.
Yeah, you don't have to always go buy a soundbar that you need for your house. Speaking of, there goes a local post office lady.
I should have her stop. I got some stuff I need to drop off.
I don't want to get up, but I invite. She came in the other day. I'm like, hey, do you need a bottle of water? We got a restroom downstairs. Anytime you need anything, you just come right in.
That's smart. You're
It
getting good with the post office people.
Yeah, it's been really good. So anyways, so that's kind of the realm is like I said, I think I found a niche that I'm really getting into because I learned a lot from you and Painter about this wrestling member. But I mean, Derek does not toot his own horn. He just doesn't. Like I said, very.
I was raised better than that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he spoke at Utah Valley University, and Derek doesn't have a formal piece of paper outside of high school that says he's smart and he is top notch. He is intelligent in so many ways. But he came and he spoke at the university that I was teaching at, and gave some real knowledge about real world stuff, how to make money. He's found some opportunities. He's done some things. He's going to be selling cards to Hulk Hogan. The top of the food chain is
it's like selling Babe Ruth his own card.
It's like selling Babe Ruth a candy bar. I mean, he knows so much stuff about it. I'm like, man, this is insane because he has more knowledge about it than literally anyone else. He just does. I mean, obviously, what's his name, Conrad, they have knowledge.
Oh yeah, there's people, and you get into like the different collectible things. Obviously, experts in everything, but yeah.
But the knowledge base, and we literally started this podcast because Gary V, pushed and pushed and pushed, and I told Derek, I'm like, we're done talking.
We were thunder and lightning, and we came together to make this magical moment.
We did it, and Derek got on social media and he tweeted something. I told him, like, hey, this is what he's talking about. I tweeted it, and Gary V started following Derek because he sells wrestling cards, and Gary's also into wrestling cards. So I mean, the top of the top are into the niche that Derek is in. Same thing with Painter. I mean, when he gets his stuff back, I mean, we're talking like it's like finding a rock that was on the moon.
On eBay, overlooked.
Yes.
I mean, that's why we listened to the last couple episodes back. You kept saying it's like going into the thrift store and finding this. And it is, but however, it was on eBay where people are looking for things undervalued, underlooked. So when people say, I can't find anything or there's not an opportunity, I think you're not trying hard enough.
They found Neil Armstrong patch that was on the moon.
Basically, I'm sure somebody just bought out a storage unit and they're just listing things and they didn't list it right. But Painter was able to find that, capitalize on that, and I mean, the story there is going to be, we'll have another press conference about that someday.
We did need a press conference. So that's kind of what really got me into, because like I said, I was enjoying cards. Like I said, they're very, they don't take a lot of storage space. They don't stink. Like, you don't feel like you're going to catch the Rona. So that's really why we got into it. I've been educating myself, taking the time, going the extra mile, sending them off to get graded because it increases their value anywhere from 2x to 10x on what they could be selling otherwise. So that's why we got into it. It's very enjoyable. That's what I spend my Saturdays with my kids. It's one of those things that, like I said, you're creating a connection. A lot of guys who are into sports, like, you can only play football in pads for so many years.
Well, and a lot of people have that connection to the childhood. I think that's why it's coming back. We've talked about this a little before, but our generation grew up getting these cards, kind of connected you to your parents, your dad, whoever that was helping you get the cards, watching sports with them, and then it went through a period of overproduction and just not worth anything. But now it's coming back to our generation, and like you and your kids spending time getting into cards again, reconnecting those bonds, re-triggering things. I remember Mike Painter's brother actually put a message. He had some things about some of his cards, and his brother said, "Man, I'm happy that you're finding an opportunity to reconnect with what made you so happy as a kid. Now as an adult, you're able to get back into it and pursue that, make some money off of it." And that's really what's coming down to. I wanted to kind of get into eBay as having whenever eBay sees something, they kind of go all in. They've done this with shoes before, and they've done it with a few different things in the past. They're doing an online card show, so to speak, where people are going to be able to buy cards, sell cards, interact with each other. It's free as far as I know. You ain't got to sign up. I haven't signed up yet.
You haven't signed up yet? I sent you the invite.
Oh, I've sent the invite out myself. I just haven't took the time to register, but that's showing you that there's some demand. They see something coming. There's a wave. Obviously, with the Rona, a lot of the bigger card shows, I had them on to go to like the National Card Show, something like that.
In New Jersey, we were going to go watch the Mets, the Yankees. We were going to go.
Adam had it all dreamed up in his head what we were going to do in a 2-day period. We
were going to Atlantic City. I mean, I had the whole thing.
We were going to hit the mega bucks. We were going to rent a private jet to come home. But eBay's doing this online card show where
I wasn't even going to pay for flights because I paid my taxes and I had all these flight miles.
Well, there you go. So it gets better as the years roll on, my friends. Pretty soon it was going to be, we were invited by Chuck Heston himself to go be escorted by Billy Blanks. I don't know.
We were going to hold a press conference.
We were going to have a press conference at our booth there.
We were going to bring we were podcasting live.
Yeah, we were going to do the show from the road.
Tax writable trip.
But anyways, if you're interested in cards at all or whatever, or you're looking to buy, the same with the Jordan shoes and stuff. They did a big shoe thing, you remember, like maybe a year ago, if that. They're doing that with cards now, so it shows you that there is a demand there. Me and Adam are kind of in that field. If that's your field, I'd invite you to go pursue it, see what your interests are. Like Adam says, soccer's the biggest sport around the world. However, the market share and what's being sold around the world, We're lucky to have PSA grading in the United States as well. A lot of these places would have to ship internationally, try to get their cards here, get them graded where it is the top standard around the world as far as just verification that this is authentic and what the condition of the cards are. There is a opportunity there if you're willing to go down that hole, or if you're into that, to figure out what cards are of value and to be able to sell those worldwide. And I tell you what does not suck is when you have in your PayPal account euros, which are worth more than the American dollar that you transfer over. It's available. The British pound, those kind of things. International currency is not a bad thing to have in your bank account.
Playing the currency game, just like I was playing the stock market game.
Well, I just mean when you see that come through, it's kind of cool, and then when you realize it's worth more than your dollar. But I mean, think of all the places in the world. Soccer is huge, and here in the States, it gets popular every now and again when the World Cup comes around. Even though it's not my cup of tea, it's obviously the youth are into it. It's getting to be popular, and there's a worldwide market that's way underserved, undervalued. So as far as niches go, I don't know a whole lot about the WNBA. It seems that there's a demand and that the population reports show that there's undervalued there. But I think soccer, or football as Adam likes to call it now,
The foodie.
is really underserved, undervalued as far as not only like the MLS, which is the American version, but if you go for the world, what's the big world?
The World Cup.
The Premier League? Is that what I'm saying?
Premier League. That's the top tier.
If you go for that in cards, it's severely underutilized with what the demand would be.
Yeah, and I guess you know, when you're young, you're kind of you're ignorant to kind of what's going around.
Don't be ignorant. That's a great
You
lesson.
just really don't know. And like I said, when I was on my ecclesiastical vacation, I was very heavily involved with the Spanish community, and this was in 2002 when the World Cup was in Korea. And I'm like, what? No, these guys are getting up at 2 a.m. to watch games that are in Korea. And like, it's not just a couple people. I mean, it was nuts. It was like every person that we came up, you know, tens of thousands of people, like the world shut down to them because of this. And it wasn't just like one day. It was for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I've had the same thing going at work. It's not I've tried, I've went to games. It's not for me, but pro wrestling's not for a lot of people. I get it.
It's because it's not free.
It's not. Well, it's not. It's not free.
It's for me.
I got you. But just to say, well, that's stupid. I don't like it. Adam's wasting his time. His kid's into it.
Yeah.
If you do the research, I mean, the richest athletes in the world are the international soccer players.
Yeah.
I mean, we think LeBron makes a lot of money.
Tennis cards. That just hit me too, because Rafa,
You start writing things down. So, I mean, go to your PSA cards. You can do this for free, or if you're a Beckett person, it doesn't really matter. But you can search, and you can look. A lot of people look at the prices that they have on things, which aren't really that accurate, in my opinion, or that up to date. Or a lot of people will look at, you know, just different things. I'm a population reports person. What this means, and we'll have to put up that other episode that we recorded a long time ago. Maybe we'll do a bonus episode because we're ranting on so much. Is it shows you how many total graded cards exist of whatever the set is. So I go and I was showing Adam during this week. I've had a lot of cards that came back graded, you know, 5s to 7s, which traditionally people would say were trash throwaway. But I look at the population report, and if it's under 10, under 100, I put that population report in my items, on my description of my items that I'm listing. And those things have been selling for $70, $80 on some of these things that people would say I'm wasting my time on. So when you're looking at your, as Adam's now getting into tennis cards, when you're looking at your different sports, right, your different hobbies, go and look at the population report. And even if that's a big number, don't let that scare you away. You know, just you have to look and see how popular the person is and what the demand is. But generally speaking, you can own markets. What you got, Adam?
I just pulled up that population report on those soccer cards that got the box right over there. There are only 149 cards that have been graded in the world.
So, maybe
for the most popular sport.
Maybe we're putting out a little too much of your information.
Nah, it's okay.
But do the research, find out who the big stars are on the big teams. Right?
I hope that somebody on here that says, man, you know what, that guy's right. I hope you come in and do the homework, because this this niche, this area, there's such a
It's
plethora.
undervalued.
It's so undervalued, it's underutilized. I know for a fact, if you listen to what I'm saying right now, you will make money.
And then that's the thing, if you do the research to figure out who the top players are and who's cool, who the kids are into, it's just underserved. And it's kind of like when people say, well, why do you do this podcast and tell people all the clothing or all the shoes you're selling? It's the same with the cards. We need good people have good experiences buying cards on eBay. So the more people that do this are selling cards,
I am so happy
people are having good experiences. It's going to pay off in the long run. We've been pretty card heavy here, Adam. With your death pile over there with all your clothing. Don't forget about our new sponsor of Sellhound and how fast you can get that listed and shipped out.
We're changing the time that we do this. Like I said, we used to do it on a Tuesday, Wednesday night. The last couple of months we've been doing it on Saturday. Next Saturday, I'm coming in with my Sellhound and I am listing.
You can get that subscription, DeathPiles, all capital letters with DeathPiles with an S, 25, and save you 25%. You just heard the commercial a little while ago, but they've been good to us, so we're going to be good to them.
Oh, and there's two things that are certain.
Adam's already out the door, man. He's going to buy more cards he's going to go fellowship with Phil. Two things in life that are certain, Adam?
That would be death piles and taxes.